All right, we'll go ahead and start our city council meeting, St. James, for January 7th, 2025, 5:30. All members are present. We do have a new oath of office coming, as we have a new mayor to take his oath of office. So it's up to you guys, right?
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Christopher Whitehead,
I, Christopher Whitehead,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Minnesota and the charter and ordinance of the city of St. James,
and the state of Minnesota and the charter and the ordinance of the city of St. James,
and to faithfully discharge the duties devolving upon me as mayor of the city of St. James to the best of my judgment and ability, so help me God.
and to faithfully discharge the duties developing upon me as the mayor of the city of St. James to the best of my judgment and ability, so help me God.
That's it. Hopefully you never have to use this.
I hope not. We gotta look over here.
Oh, sorry.
You can come closer.
I don't want John's hand getting anywhere wet.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you,
Good
John.
luck, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you want to do the other oath with Sue.
Yeah, we'll do yours. And then we'll do yours. And then we'll do yours.
Okay, sounds good.
Gotta bring my little piece of paper.
Oh, yeah, I think
That's why you're so fancy tonight. Yeah. I did not dress fancy.
It makes me feel more comfortable, so thank you. Thanks, John.
Okay. I, Sue Craig,
I, Sue Craig,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Minnesota
and the state of Minnesota
and the charter and ordinances of the city of St. James,
and the charter and the ordinances of the city of St. James,
and to faithfully discharge the duties devolving upon me
and to faithfully discharge duties devolving upon me
as Councilmember Ward 1 of the city of St. James
as council member Ward 1 of the city of St. James
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
I, Stephen Lindy,
I, Stephen Libby,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Minnesota
and the state of Minnesota
and the charter and ordinances of the city of St. James,
and the charter and ordinances of the city of St. James,
and to faithfully discharge the duties devolving upon me
and faithfully discharge the duties devolving
as
upon me
As Councilmember Ward 2 of the City of St. James,
as council member Ward 2 of the city of St. James,
to the best of my judgment and ability,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. And we'll do the signatures after.
Okay. All right. We'll start the meeting with a public hearing of the city council with the 7A scheduled public hearings. Then conduct a regular meeting following the hearing. This public hearing is regarding project number 24X.135115.00 of 7th Street South, 13th Avenue South, and Ring Road improvements. Please ensure that you have signed in, showing your attendance at the hearing. First, we will discuss the procedure for the following hearing, then we'll begin. During the public hearing, there will be opportunity for the public and interested parties to hear and see all information, ask questions, provide additional information, express support or options, and or suggest modifications to the proposal. We will first hear from our city engineer about the proposed project. Then I will open public comment. During public comment, if you would like to address the city council, please raise your hand. When called upon, please go up to the podium and state your name and address for the record. You will have 5 minutes to share your comments. Before the hearing concludes, the council will then have the opportunity to ask clarifying questions. Remember, we are here to hear testimonies, not express opinions, debate, or engage in discussion with the public. We will start the public hearing at 5:35 with the presentation from the city engineer, Adam Jacobs, with Boltman and Mink.
Thank you. Like you said, this is the improvement hearing for the 7th Street South, 13th Avenue South, and Ring Road improvements. A little bit about this project background. The City of St. James applied for local road improvement funds with the state for this project. They were successful and awarded $1.5 million from the state. Ooh, I got a wrong number in there, so please ignore that 12.8 million. That was not that one. But so the eligible items for that $1.5 million was for storm sewer and for street improvements. So as you can see there, that's where the project location is. It's 7th Street from 10th Avenue South, the county road there, all the way down to 13th Avenue, and then we're going to add in construct a new road there along what we're calling Ring Road from 13th Avenue down to that terminus, and then we're going to finish out 13th Avenue there too. Kind of want to just go through this. I know some of the council members, it's kind of their first project, and also for the property owners. Just kind of go through what's under your street. So here's the sanitary sewer. What you can see is that's a big sewer that's usually the deepest one in the middle of the street. You got concrete manholes that are access points, and then we have a lateral that goes to the houses, and that's what your service line is. That's where, you know, when you flush your toilets and your washing machine and dishwasher go, that's where all that sewage goes down. So with that, with this project, we kind of got 3 unique areas. We have the reconstruct area, which is 7th Street from the county road down to basically where the bituminous ends. That's going to be a total reconstruction. The sanitary sewer in that area is clay pipe right now. You know, the manholes are in poor condition. You know, we're looking at televising reports for that, and you see a lot of misaligned joints and you know, tree roots growing in there. So now is a good time to replace that while we're doing a street project. The remaining sewer along the project was installed in the mid-2000s throughout the rest of the 7th Street South, where it's a gravel road, and 13th. We're also looking at adding in sanitary from 13th Avenue south of there along Ring Road. Since we're completing that roadway, we want to get all the utilities done underneath it. So our proposed improvements are putting in, you know, new PVC pipe in the reconstruct area, and then brand new PVC in that Ring Road extension. You know, with that, we'll put in new manholes with gaskets, so we're not getting the leaking, we're not getting that water that's going into the sanitary system that ends up in the treatment plant, and now we're treating, you know, clean groundwater. We will also be replacing the sanitary services from the main to the property line. The next utility that's under the roadway is the water main. Now that's what's bringing the water to your faucets. That's what's providing fire protection, you know, at the with the fire hydrants. So you can see there's a main that runs along there. You got the hydrant leads, and then we also have the services going to your house with a shut-off valve that we usually place at the right-of-way line to be able to isolate the property's water lines. So the existing condition there, we got 4-inch cast iron water main along 7th Street South. It's in poor condition. It does not meet current standards. Our minimum that we put back in for mains are 8 inches. So with a 4-inch, this also, you're lacking fire protection from the fact that they can't pump out of the hydrant. They can, you know, just open it up and let it flow. So that's what we want to get to the bigger mains. We have also had corroding pipes in that area, and we've had 3 breaks, I believe, since the early 2000s along that stretch. The remaining water main, like I said, that was put in with that other 2000 project. That's in real good condition yet, so there's no need to improve that. Our proposed improvements, we'd be putting in 8 to 12-inch water main there. The 12-inch would be to kind of complete that looping around 13th Avenue and then 7th, because we already have some 12-inch in there and planned. The remainder would be an 8-inch. We'd also put in new hydrants, new isolation valves so that everything can be shut off properly. You know, if a water main break does happen. We'd also be replacing the water services lines for all the residents out to the property lines. And then next slide, Tammy. Kind of the third utility that we have underneath there is the storm sewer. That's the one that takes all your surface drainage away. You have the main line in the middle with manholes, and then we have catch basins that are in the curb line that capture that water and direct it into there. We also have under drain that goes along the roadway to direct water from the subgrade that comes up, that gets in and gets out of there, so it's not damaging the roadway. This is also an opportunity to have like a sump pump access to go into that under drain that then would take it into the catch basins. Existing conditions along 7th, there really is no storm sewer along there. We just have it at a few intersections, so drainage isn't the greatest up there right now. Our proposed improvements would be installing new storm sewer kind of throughout the project, putting catch basins at strategic low points. This will increase our inlet capacity, and then we're going to size that to meet the current city standards. The next one here is street and sidewalk. It's kind of a nice cross section of showing what's going in there. You know, you got your road sub base. We'll be paving this with a bituminous road, or you know, some people call it tar or asphalt. We'll have concrete curb and gutter, and then we are looking at adding in a sidewalk. Currently, we're in the design phase, and we're looking at putting that on the west side of the road, but we're still going through that process right now. Also with that too, as you know, we're replacing that roadway, we'll have to go into the driveways. So a portion of the driveways will get a new apron and be replaced. We'll do a concrete apron, and then we'll patch in with like materials behind there. Existing conditions, we have a 34-foot wide street there on 7th Street. We will be expanding that to 36 foot. That's kind of the standard that we got set up on 7th Street South and what we got on 13th. So that's going to be a little bit more of a wider street, but that meets kind of state aid standards for having 2 lanes and then 2 parking lanes on both sides. Like I said, we're going to have bituminous pavement with curb and gutter. We're going to have pedestrian accommodations with a minimum of a 5-foot sidewalk along 7th Street, and then down in the area around the hospital, it'll be a 6-foot wide sidewalk like what's there right now. Boulevard restoration, we'll do the concrete driveway aprons, and then we'll also then reestablish any turf that was disturbed as a part of the project. One of the last things too, we have, you know, private utilities that are along the road. We got, you know, electrical, gas, communication lines. As part of the project, we'll coordinate with the private utility companies to let them know that this is going on, and they might come in and have to do some relocations, or at that time they might choose to replace some of their facilities. You go 2. Yep. So this is kind of I like to show this one just to, you know, everybody drives down the road and they don't realize what's all underneath their street, and it's kind of a spaghetti junction underneath there. So it makes you realize what's all going on and how much infrastructure you actually have in there. Estimated project cost, we got that broken down between the street, sanitary, water, and storm. The total project cost is almost $2.9 million. Like I said, we got $1.5 million in LRIP for the street and storm items, which we will max that out with ours. The remaining dollars will come from special assessments, city funds, and bond funds. Special assessments, the way we calculated those, street and storm were assessed on a frontage basis. We take what the frontage of the lot is there, we take the cost of the street and storm items, divide it by the total frontage, and we see what their, each person's portion was there. Sanitary and water, it's assessed on a per connection basis. There again, we take, sanitary water main costs, divide it out by how many different connections we have. So as you can see on here, for the residential area, street and storm is $42 a foot. Water main is, and this is estimated project costs. We'll know more once we bid it and have hard numbers from the contractor that'll kind of finalize these, but this is just to kind of give you an idea of where we're at right now. The street and storm is at $42 a foot. Water mains at almost $2,700 a connection, and sanitary's at $2,400 a connection. With a commercial, street and storm is that same $42 bucks a foot, and then with us putting in that new mains for that, that's why the water and that sanitary connection are a little higher at that $23,000 and $22,000 for that, and that's down on a Mayo's property on that south. So when we go through this, we do go through the assessment process. We follow the requirements of Minnesota State Statute 429. Like I said before, the actual assessments will be determined after the bids have been let. There is, a special process that we need to go through with this. So the actual assessment amount for each property will be provided in a mailed notice approximately 2 weeks before the mailed hearing. So each property will get a notice of what that is, and then they'll have an opportunity to come forward at the assessment hearing. The final assessment will be certified to the county auditor and added to the property tax statements, and that'll be starting in 2026. The assessments can be prepaid without interest, in that first year. If the city doesn't receive payment, then it goes on the taxes, and then that goes over, I can't remember what the term is, and we'll have that at the assessment hearing. I think it's usually is a 15-year,
That's almost
and then the percent on that will be determined once we finalize the bond.
Yep.
It's usually a percent over what we get that bond for. The prepayment date will be determined by the council and provided in that assessment hearing notice that they'll receive. Any remaining principal and interest can be prepaid without penalty. They just gotta pay off the interest that has been accrued. Like I say, additional information will be provided in the assessment hearing notice when we get to that portion of the project. So here's a schedule that we have here. We're at January 7th. Middle of March, we're looking at approving plans and specs, and we'd be opening bids in April. We would be awarding the contract also in April, and then construction would be May to October of 2025. And then we would have the assessment hearing in October. Subject to some minor modifications. If some scheduling goes, we can shift that around a little bit. Construction schedule will be determined by the contractor. We give them the certain dates that they need to be done by, but when they get that work in, that's kind of up to them. With that, I think that's all I have. So if the council has any questions, or if we want to open it up to the residents.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. Are there any members of the public wanting to address the city council?
Donna Barrett, 1027 7th Street South. My question is, how do we access our homes during this construction period? Is there going to be access, like, I live on the east side of the road. Is there going to be access on, like, an alley made for us to come down?
Typically, what would end up happening is you'd have to go to the local streets, so we'd be on like 13th Avenue, you would have to park from there, and then there would be,
I have an issue with that because I have a husband that has
and if you have,
stabilization issues, balance issues, and TMT comes and picks him up for different things, and he's got drivers that picks him up to take him to other things, so,
and with that, if we know that, we can make accommodations with the contractor to, you know, we'll have a person on site that's an inspector, and if you work with them, we'll make sure that we can help you get the access to your house. You know, unfortunately, you know, you kind of see that one picture I had there with all the utilities that are under the street. Like, they gotta go through and they gotta dig those in multiple times, so it's really hard to guarantee 100% access to your house just because of, one, how much digging they're doing, and two, what the weather brings. So, yes, we will do everything in our power to make sure that you can get up to your house and then coordinate with you to get out if you need.
because I live right in the middle of the street. And I've got the field behind me, so that's what I was wondering if you've talked to the landowner behind there that owns that land, if we can drive on it, or,
We have not at this point.
okay,
That's something that we can look into.
all right, because that's my biggest concern on this.
Yeah, no, understood. Yes, and that's, access is it's always the big one in construction. It's just, like I say, it's hard to get everything built and then try to accommodate everybody at the same time, too.
Are there any other members of the public wanting to address the city council? Are there any other members of the public wanting to address the city council?
Hi, Renee Nett, 1031 7th Street South. I was wondering, do the residents get any input into this design, into what you're going to be doing? And how was the decision made as to what you would be doing, other than the necessary factors? You know, the storm sewer, or excuse me, not storm sewer. You know, we don't have one now. There hasn't been one. You know, houses have been on that street for over 60 years, and there's never been one. So can we explain why now it is necessary? And then sidewalk, again, that street, houses have been on that street for over 60 years. There's never been a sidewalk. Can we explain why it's being designed this way? I mean,
I would have to gather the fact of growth for our community.
okay.
It's a nice way. I mean, if people want to walk that way to work, that may work out that way. It's an easy walk for them to walk on a sidewalk rather than a gravel road. Making it tar makes it
Okay,
safer.
I don't live on a gravel road.
But isn't that where, does that go to that curve towards the hospital for that?
Correct. The project is, you know, we're taking that existing gravel road that's south of your house, and we're paving that. So with that, you know, you're asking about sidewalk. What we're doing there is, you know, we gotta start looking at, and I'm not sure about the ordinance about reconstructing that, about putting a sidewalk in, but we also gotta look at more than just the motoring public. It's also the pedestrians or bicycles that are, you know, driving on this, that we gotta accommodate more of them throughout here. So yes, that's why we were looking at extending that sidewalk down, so now we have an accessible way for pedestrians to get to the hospital.
Well, and also we just updated our land use plan, and it was identified that connectivity in our community was a high priority for our residents and our business owners and our citizens. And so with every project that are doing now forward, sidewalks will be a part of that because it's been identified as a high priority for our community.
Okay, so my question was, do we have any input? And so what I'm hearing is that no.
Your input's being heard, 100%. I mean,
But do you have influence on the input? No, I mean, we really heavily rely on our engineer and our priorities that have been set forth
Okay.
on making
So,
decisions.
yeah, you answered my question then.
What is your comment on it?
No, my question was, do we have any input into the plan? And so the answer is no, and that.
what would your input be, though? What would your input be?
I don't have any right now. This was quite we weren't expecting this, so I have no clue. I don't know how your process works, you know, how you make the decisions, if there are specific laws that influence those decisions. And I just had the simple question is, you know,
So for
do we
this-
get any?
So for this project, 2 years ago, we went out for the same grant because it's important to have 2 access points into Mayo Hospital for safety reasons. So that's been on the docket for a long time. We
Yeah.
were denied that first grant request, not sure, could have been very competitive. And then in cammering the 7th Street, it showed very poor condition. So we added that section of project to the grant and were awarded it. So we don't know if that additional submission and additional project or portion of the project got the project to be more favorable, or if it just was less competitive this time. But essentially, we wrapped the 3 projects into one to be able to be efficient with our funds and not ripping up streets all the time. So we try to do what we can
Okay,
and identify the poor conditions.
okay. So I guess we'll just go back. The last time you mentioned previous project, when they added the road down there. At that time, we were told, you know, we were concerned about increased traffic on our street, and we were told we didn't have to worry about that. But you know what? That was a very false assumption. And so now that you're going to pave the road, I guess I hadn't thought about that before until you mentioned the previous project, but we will have even more increased traffic. And what are you going to do to control the traffic, to control the speed of the cars that come in off that road? Because right now people are coming in off the road over 30 miles an hour anyway, and you pave the road, it's easier for them to drive on. And please don't tell me that's not going to happen. I used to live down on First Avenue by the intersection of 11th and First, and you know, we were basically told the same thing. So what are you going to do to control the speed of the traffic coming in off that road? And I'm going to guess nothing.
That'll be up to the enforcement of the police officers to do
Okay.
that. I mean, I don't know if there's anything with our design that's gonna do that. I mean, I know you kind of got a little sweeping curve in there, you know, to
And
get
it,
constraint, you know, we're kind of building it out to the minimum width that we can to kind of meet standards. You know, to have 2-way traffic and then parking along both sides. So, yes, from keeping people from driving fast through there's.
oh no, and I'm sorry if you thought that I meant that you should be doing something about it. And I know our police officers work very hard, and there's certainly no way that they can be there monitoring.
But that's something
This,
that we
but
can
what I'm-
assess. We can assess the need, and if there needs to be a stop sign or a slow down sign. I mean, we can work with our street department and try to put something in that will
Okay.
deter individuals
Yeah.
from going 30 miles an hour and entering into 7th Avenue, 7th
Yeah.
Street.
But there can't be any guarantees. On my street, I have a park, and we just had a car accident with a young kid who smacked into a fire hydrant on my street.
No,
We can't
and-
control
and
speeds.
I'm sorry that, like I said, you know, we didn't have a lot of time to think about this, prepare about this, and I'm sorry if my comments are being not completely understood because I'm not really, hadn't really had time to think about any of this stuff. But like I said, the last time that the project was done, we were told that we wouldn't have to worry about any traffic. And our street is quite a busy street now, as you might be able to imagine. I don't know if you do or not, but when we moved there, we had small children, and we still have a lot of kids on our block. And like I said, I just,
If there comes a time where you do have the questions in your head a little bit better or clearer, and you want to get a hold of me, I'd be more than happy to listen to them
no,
and hear them out and bring it up.
That's fine. Yeah, I guess I got my answer. I got my answer. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. One more time? Okay. Are there any other residents that would like to speak? Go ahead.
Nancy Cowell, 1026 7th Street South. I'm concerned about the sidewalk going on the west side. How did that get determined to go on the west side versus the east side?
Well, it hasn't been fully determined, it hasn't been fully designed that way, that's just where we're leaning towards, so the decision hasn't been fully made.
Okay, so if they do decide to put it there, what do they do with the trees that are there? We have a big pine tree on the corner?
What was that?
We have a big pine tree on the corner? So would they be taking that down?
So what we do when we look at evaluating what side of the street a sidewalk should go on is we're looking at, how many trees is this gonna affect? How many driveways is this gonna go across? What's the slopes of those driveways that we're crossing? Are we gonna be able to fit it in there? Everything else can fit in there nice and, not everything gets steep then, so it fits more with the lay of the ground. We also look at private utilities, is the boulevard on that side, we have a lot of private utilities, do we got conflicts with light poles or, the communication
Okay.
vessels or, the electric boxes out there. I know Matt likes to put them where we want to put sidewalk all the time. So, that's just one of those, that's what we look at. It's,
To determine?
we do
Okay.
go through an exhaustive effort to make sure that, hey, what side we are putting on makes more sense. Maybe it's flow of where connecting sidewalks are to what's going to be kind of the least impactful for the whole community. And unfortunately, when you're in a situation where you have a street where neither side residents want it on their side, it's gonna get put on one side or the other.
But you are increasing the width of the street too.
By about 2 feet, correct.
Okay.
Yep. And the right of way through that neighborhood is a very large right of way, it's an 80-foot right of way, which typically we see more like 60-foot right of ways. So there is a large right of way for us to use in that area.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Okay. Are there any other members of the public that would like to speak? All right. Now that we have heard from the public, does the city council have any questions?
No.
All right. Thank you, and this concludes our public hearing at 6:01. Next, we will move on to 4A, consideration to approve of the minutes, December 17th, 2024, city council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
A motion to second? What?
No, you said I have a motion and a second, is there any other?
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't go through that with you.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
You said we have a motion, we have a second, is there any other
We have a motion and we have a second. Is there anything else?
discussion?
Discussion, sorry.
Nope.
Great. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimous.
Very good.
See that? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
It's gonna be okay.
Sooner or later, guys. All right. So consent items. A.
So moved.
Second. Sue.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion?
I'll write this out for you.
Appreciate it. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. So move on to 6, scheduled bid.
Nope,
Oh,
you can
whoa.
skip all that. You can
Skipping
go
that.
right to the 10.
10, all right. License and payments, A. Oh, consideration to approve gambling license, region chapters of Delta Waterfowl Foundation.
Perfect. Okay, so we had a gambling license submitted on behalf of the Southeast Region chapters of Delta Waterfowl Foundation, and they would like to host a raffle at the St. James American Legion on January 11th. All gambling licenses have to be approved by the city council, and to my knowledge, everything looks tidy and ready for approval.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Decision carries unanimous.
Very good. See, you're getting this.
I'm gonna get it. All right, old business.
No, we don't have any.
Okay, no old business. All right, new business. Letter A through P. Consideration to approve Resolution 1.25.1, authorizing the city clerk to prepay invoices.
So at each first meeting in January every year, there are a select resolutions that we have to approve, the city council has to approve. One of them being this first one, to give authority to our city clerk to prepay invoices. Since we have meetings twice a month, invoices sometimes come in and we don't want to accrue late fees. And so this gives the authority to Chris in order so that she can get things paid on a timely fashion.
So moved, dispense with the reading. Second, dispense with the reading.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussions? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. B, consideration to approve Resolution 1.25.2, naming the official newspaper.
This also is one of those resolutions that we have to do every year, and this is appointing St. James Plain Dealer as our official newspaper for city business in 2025.
So moved, dispense with the reading.
Second, dispense with the reading.
All right.
I have a motion in a second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any other discussions? Raise of hands. All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. C, consideration to approve Resolution 1.25.3, establishing official depositories.
Again, this is another resolution we have to do each and every year, and this appoints Pioneer Bank, First National Bank of St. James, the Minnesota Municipal Money Market Fund, and Edward Jones Investment Branch of St. James as the official city depositories for city business in 2025.
So moved, dispense with the reading.
Second, dispense with the reading.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussions?
Okay.
Raise of hands. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. D, consideration to approve Resolution 1.25.4, amending personal policies.
So our personnel policies do get amended at the beginning of each year with wage increases for COLA, changes in our major medical insurance, having the council approve the pay scales, and then just any recommended policy changes that we have for 2025. So your Appendix A is all of our full-time non-union staff and what their pay equity number assigned to them is, and also what their minimax is for their grade that they are hired for. Continuing with part-time employees, and then we also have fire department and ambulance set as well. Major medical, we did have a change for 2025. We used to have 4 plans, individual, employee plus spouse, employee plus children, and then family. We had a change in our insurance, and now everybody on the plan, there's a dollar amount for, and it's based on individual's age, and so I could not put an amount in there because everyone's amount is different. So that's why it just says individual premiums. Employer share for individuals is 100%, and the employee share is 0. And then if you have yourself plus anybody else on your plan, the employer share is 75, and the employee share is 25%. So that is a change. And then Appendix C is the 2025 pay scale that has been worked into the budget for both full-time and part-time non-union staff. And then this year, unlike last year, we only have 4 amendments to our policies, not 2 pages full. So on page 7, we did add some clarifying verbiage that our policies apply to all employees of the city, including paid per call and on-call firefighters and ambulance employees, because there was some confusion. So we just want to make sure that we are clear. On benefits on page 27 and continuing on page 28, we updated the verbiage to reflect the benefit insurance that I had just spoke about. Severance pay also has some additional verbiage regarding employees who work less than 40 hours a week and who also do not complete their 6-month probationary period will not receive any accrued vacation payout. And then on number 4, in our union negotiations, we negotiated a cell phone stipend as employees need to have their cell phones in order to do their jobs. So on page 59, we added that verbiage for full-time employees and a stipend for city-related use of their cell phone. For non-supervisory employees, it's $25 a month, and for supervisors, it's $40 a month. And that also has been worked into the budget for 2025. Any questions on that resolution?
Does anybody want to make a motion?
So moved, dispense with the reading.
Second, dispense with the reading.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussions? Raise of hand, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries unanimous.
Perfect.
All right, on to E. Consideration to approve Resolution 1.25.05, establishing date and time of meetings.
Again, this is another resolution we have to do at the beginning of the year, and we have to establish our meeting date and time. For 2025, we're going to keep status quo and keep it the first and third Tuesday at 5:30, right here in this room. There is one caveat that we have listed on the resolution, and that is for National Night Out. That's actually the first Tuesday in August, which happens to be August 5th, and that meeting will be moved to August 6th.
So moved, dispense with reading.
Second, dispense with reading.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussions? Raise of hand, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Consideration to approve Resolution 1.25.6, adopting 2025 fee schedule.
In front of you is the resolution that adopts the 2025 fee schedule. There's only a couple changes that the staff's recommending for 2025. First is for the pool season family passes. Last year, we set the rates to include tax, and I didn't raise it enough to actually cover our costs. So it was recommended to me by our staff that we would raise the family pass for 4 individuals to $150. That's a $5 increase. The family pass up to 6 people is $225, which is a $10 increase. And then the family pass, which is up to 8 people, is $300, which is a $15 increase. And again, this covers the tax that we didn't cover last year. And then the other recommendation is we have not increased our shelter or our facility rent in quite a few years. So we are recommending that the $50 shelter fee go to $60 and that the community building rent go from $50 to $60 as well. And those are the only changes on the fees that we are recommending for 2025. Are there any questions?
I do have a couple questions. We have a lot of motorized skateboards and e-bikes that go super fast. Are they addressed in the police department end of ticketing or control or something? They just fly around.
E-bikes as of right now still fall under a bicycle per statute. There's 3 different categories. They've also changed the law to say that a bicycle does not have to stop at a stop sign if there's no one coming. I don't know why they changed it, but so far e-bikes just fall under the same category as a bicycle.
But what if they go beyond the speed limit set in the city of St. James? I mean, and I think they do. And there's one skateboard guy that I know speeds.
Yeah, he flies.
And he doesn't always have like reflective gear or lights on. He's
And for that part, a bicycle would need to follow the same laws as a motor vehicle. If they were driving after dark, they have to have the headlights and taillights, and so it would fall under that if they were zooming around at night. So.
okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay.
So moved, dispense with the reading.
Second, dispense with the reading.
Motion is second. Any other discussions? Raise of hand, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Consideration to approve Resolution 1.25.7, 2025 mayoral appointments.
So the mayoral appointments also are set at the first meeting every year of what our committees are going to look like for 2025. I did ask all the council members, what they're comfortable with or, what they're okay with. And essentially, this is kind of what we came up with, trying to move some people around, keep passion where passion is, and try to be as effective as we can. Does anybody have questions on the appointments? Okay.
So move dispense with the reading.
Second, dispense with the reading.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussions? Raise of hand. All those in favor? All of those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Consideration to approve Resolution 1.25.8, authorizing transfers.
So these are transfers that are reflected in the 2024 budget that we need to transfer to the appropriate spot according to the budget of 2024. And I'm trying to think here just really quick. There was one, for the liquor fund to the Fund 617, that does go above what was budgeted in the budget, but we had that mold restoration that we needed and got approval through the year to get that, so that's added on to here. And then there was a capital equipment fund was going to give the general fund more money, but we didn't make that purchase, so that is not being included because we didn't purchase that in 2024. So those are the only two caveats from the budget that you guys had approved already.
So move dispense with the reading.
Second, dispense with the reading.
Attaboy, Steve. I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussions? Raise of hand. All those in favor? All of those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Consideration to approve Resolution 1.25.9, authorizing bond transfers.
So this is very similar to the resolution we just approved, but this is our payments for our bonds. So you can see that throughout the year, we collect revenues in our storm revenue fund, our water fund, our wastewater fund, and then those funds need to pay the bond fund back for the bond payments made. So those numbers are what the payments were made, and now we're repaying back the bond fund that covered it. If that makes sense. Do you have questions?
So move dispense with the reading.
Second, dispense with the reading.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussions? Raise of hand. All those in favor?
Are you okay?
All of those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Consideration to approve Resolution 1.2510, designating authorized representation to Western Minnesota Municipal Power Agency.
So the resolution designates our electric superintendent, Matt Runge, and myself as the authorized representatives for this power agency. We are part of this power agency, so we have to do this every year as well. It just gets essentially renewed and authorizes Matt to make decisions with them and cast votes within the agency.
So move dispense with the reading.
Second, dispense with the reading.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussions? Raise of hand. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Consideration to approve Resolution 1.25.11, designating authorized representation to Missouri River Energy Services.
So similar to the resolution also that we just passed, we are a member of Missouri River. And again, designating Matt Runge, our electric superintendent, and myself as authorized representatives to cast votes within Missouri River, have contact, and make decisions based on our power.
So move dispense with the reading.
Second, dispense with the reading.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussions? Raise of hand. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Consideration to approve Resolution 1.25.12, declaring excess property.
So this resolution is going to declare excess property. That is one of the statutes that the city has to follow in order to dispose of something. So our theater popcorn machine that we once had has finally died. And it was less than $10,000, so I authorized the purchase of a new popcorn machine, and now we need to get rid of our old popcorn machine. So that is what that resolution is doing, is allowing us to rid of the old popcorn machine.
You
That-
don't just put it in the basement or anything, do you?
No, we do not want to do that.
That's a good question.
I mean, in the past.
Where do you retire popcorn machines? Just the dump?
Don't you scrap it, don't you?
Yeah,
Probably.
it's made of metal.
Is there a motion?
So moved, dispense with the reading.
Second, dispense with the reading.
Great, we've got a motion and a second. Any other discussions? Raise of hand, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Consideration to approve Resolution 1.25.13, supporting appointment to the EMS Advisory Council.
This is our last resolution for the night and my most exciting one. So Holly Wallace, our EMS director, was appointed by the Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities to serve in their legislative seat to serve on the new EMS Advisory Council. So she's here tonight. We will get a picture after the council meeting, but we are very excited. This is very huge for our community, for Holly, for our ambulance, for our region. So it's very awesome that we get to have a seat on the new, essentially the new EMSRB board. So, yeah, it's very exciting. And congratulations, Holly.
Happily so moved. Dispense with the reading.
Second, dispense with the reading.
Any other discussions? Raise of hand, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Congratulations. Consideration to approve purchase request, street fleet vehicle. Chad.
It's been a while since I've been up here, but I'm looking at replacing one of our pickups. It's a 2015 F-350, upgrading to a 2025. The cost came in at $46,996 for the pickup, and then I have expenses on liftgate and some other accessories. So the total comes to $54,882.99, and that is not including the trade-in of the truck. And so waiting for the salesman to come down. I tried to get this through because I can save some money with liftgate and stuff if I get it in now. So I have $50,000 in the budget for this, and I will be way under that. So I'd like to permission to purchase this.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussions?
Who are you getting it through?
Chuck Spaeth in Sleepy Eye.
So, I know we go there a lot. They give us the best.
Well,
This is all through state bid contract.
Yep. Yep.
So it don't matter if we went through Medelia or anything. The only thing would be is the trade-in price would probably be different if we went that way. But we've been treated very well with Chuck Spaeth, so
Okay,
been staying there.
good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Consideration to approve new hire, Lindsay Wooten.
We are very excited that the ambulance and the council authorized that we could hire a full-time EMT captain. We had interviews with our personnel committee, and Lindsay Wooten was hired. She started on January 1st, 2025, and her rate of pay is set at a grade 5, step 1, according to the full-time non-union wage scale. We'll get a picture after the council meeting as well, but congratulations, and we just need the stamp of approval.
So move.
And second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussions? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Congratulations. On to the last one. Consideration to approve new hire, Randy Nelson.
So Randy Nelson she's been part of the ambulance, and now she's been hired as a paid on-call EMT captain as well. So Lindsay's taking a full-time position. Randy is stepping in and helping support the leadership team as a captain as well. She'll remain as a paid on-call because we can't afford 2 full-time EMTs at this time. But her pay will be offset and a little bit more than our normal EMTs that are running. So that was on the resolution that you also approved if you want to take a look at that. But we're very excited to have both of these individuals join our leadership team as captains.
So moved.
That's what I was waiting for.
Maybe we were supposed to.
That's what I was waiting for.
Okay.
Have a motion, a second. Any other discussions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimous. Report of boards, right? Commission and department heads, anybody?
So just start with Sue and then we'll go around.
Okay, yes. Hope you guys are all available, starting Friday, and then Saturday afternoon and Saturday morning and Sunday afternoon, we're going to be taking down the lights at Memorial Park. So it would just be wonderful if all of you show up and help. Give me a call what time you want to be there, so I make sure I'm there too, so.
Is it supposed to be warm?
Well, it's going to be warmer than it is right now.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be as warm as it's going to be in January.
And
for right now.
not snow. The
And
one
not
year
snow.
it was like up to their hips when we were out there. It was a struggle.
Yep, so that's all I have.
I feel really bad about having to work this weekend at the store. So I tell you,
Yeah, all weekend.
well, maybe Sunday afternoon I can help
Okay.
possibly.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. This trifecta that's going back here. Thank you for pulling it back together and making it bigger and better. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
No. No.
I don't have anything either.
Chris.
I have the movie.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
So it's held over, the movie Wicked. It will be here January 10th through the 12th. It is a PG rated movie. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes long. The movie starts at 7 p.m. on both Friday and Saturday, 4 p.m. on Sunday, and all tickets are just $5. So I
Nothing.
have-
First meeting, so far so good.
Same.
Okay. And then ask if there's anybody, any department heads.
Any department heads have anything?
No, you don't count.
Awesome.
And then ask for a motion to adjourn.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Dr. All in favor?